press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, we had stopped in the previous class discussing about labor with pay and labor without pay. I hope you have read that much and also have read the next part that we are going to discuss today. Now you have known, today what we are going to discuss is already being mentioned n number of times when I did the previous classes. Today's topic is going to be laborers in the organized sector and laborers in the unorganized sector. So we're going to just look at the differences how organized sectors work and how unorganized sectors work. Alright, I have divided it like this so that it will be easier for you to compare and contrast as you are writing or listening. Alright, now we are on the verge of finishing the lesson. Maybe one more class on the challenges faced by unorganized sector. With that we are going to finish the lesson. Now what is more important is for you to understand some concepts in detail. Some are very basic concepts which you can understand as and when you try to read it. So let's see what's there in today's class, that's organized and unorganized sector. Okay, what's organized sector? I have been telling you organized sector meaning those that are bound, those institutions and organizations that are being bound by rules and regulations and who will have to pay taxes, who will have to seek permission of the government in order to start it. Whereas unorganized sector meaning they are not bound by any legal rules, or they will not have any taxes to pay as such, because they work as a daily wager or they work for their own. Depends, they don't have to run their business every day. Okay, they don't do that. Whenever, as and when they have work, they go, they work and they come back. Alright, that belongs to unorganized sector. Let's get into detail. With that you will know much more into what is organized and what is unorganized. Alright, let me write it as a compare and contrast so that it is easy for you to understand both points together. Alright, let's write the first point now. Before I tell you this, I want you to know one more thing. Okay, now the economy that is there in the country, the economics that is there is being divided into three sectors or three categories. Okay, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. Now in the primary, it is raw materials that are available. Okay, raw materials that are available. And in the secondary sector, it is that you are manufacturing your goods along with that raw materials. Okay, you're going to take that raw material and you're manufacturing your goods. In the tertiary sector, it is you are giving your services to your customers or giving your services to others, whoever you consider as the person, individual taking your service. Alright, now this is what is prominent in the economy sector of the nation. Three things have to happen, that is you produce your raw materials, then you send it to the factories for manufacturing, and then you get your end product or you get your service. Alright, same thing. Okay, same thing is being divided in the labor sectors also, like organized and unorganized. Now let's see the first point. Okay, this is bound by law. Okay, that meaning they have certain rules and regulations which they have to follow in order to run that organization or institution. Let's take a hospital, let's take a school, a college. Everybody has their certain rules and regulations even before they have started it, that they need to follow certain things. They will have to bind by whatever the government has laid down for them. Alright, now this is not bound by law. or rules, okay? Not bound by law according to the government. Whatever the government has laid, alright? They don't have any legal laws that they have to follow, no rules and regulations as such, but the organized sectors have rules and regulations laid by the government, alright? Now, the next that is there here, okay, what are the rules is minimum you must pay a minimum amount of money, that is fixed wages, okay, these are the rules, fixed wages, you have to give certain facilities, you should have certain facilities, okay, which the government has told. Now if you want to start a hospital, what are the basic facilities that you should have? You should have certain instruments, you should have so many beds, you should have proper rooms for your patients, you should have all the facilities that are needed, a blood bank or whatever is needed in the hospital. You have seen what's there in the hospital, isn't it? Now, why does the government emphasize on these rules? Even when you start a school or a college, you need to have certain classrooms, you need to have proper labs, you need to have toilets, you need to have everything that is needed for the benefit of a student and the running of the organization or the institution. Now in the hospital, if there are not proper beds, there are no proper instruments, the government will feel, okay, this hospital is not eligible to be registered because they don't have those facilities that will cater to the needs of the patients. The patients may suffer there if they go there. Alright, if they go there for any treatment, they may suffer, and that the government doesn't allow. Alright, you must give a certain amount of money to your workers who are working under you, okay? Those workers have to get a certain amount of money from you. Now, in this, they don't have fixed wages, and they don't need any facilities that they have to feel that they have to be bound by whatever the government has said. Now, an example for this is those who are selling vegetables, okay, they're just roaming around the street and selling vegetables. What kind of facility do you think they need? They don't need anything, only a vehicle, some taken on a vehicle, but otherwise not much, isn't it? They just take it in a cart and they can go around and sell their vegetables. So not much facilities, okay, they don't require, okay, add that don't there, don't require much of the facilities. Now, I hope you understood this much. Let's get into the third point. Now, all this that has to be done, that is fixed wages that you have to give, the facilities that you have to give, are all bound by certain laws or acts, okay? One such act is the Minimum Wages Act. This act says whoever is working under you, you will have to give this much of basic wages, basic salary to that person. The government has decided on a basic wage and that has to be given, okay? You're not supposed to give anything less than that. More than that is depending on the institution or the organization and their rules and regulations, but nobody is allowed to give below this frame line of the minimum wages that are present. You'll have to give a certain amount of money. Next is Factories Act. Now, in this Factories Act, all those employees who are working in the factories, this act says they should ensure, the employer has to ensure that the health and the well-being of its employee is protected. Okay, that means they shouldn't hurt themselves while they are working. All safety measures have to be put in place in order to look after the employee who is working for them. Alright, this is Factories Act. Nobody can be harmed, or nobody should get into a situation where they can harm themselves in the factories while they are working. So that is, this act is to protect the well-being of the people working in the factories. Then comes Employees Provident Fund. Now in this, a certain amount of money every employee pays to the employer. Okay, employee is the one working, employer is the one who gives you the job. Okay, if you have not understood the meaning of those two words, employer meaning those who are giving you the job, employee is you are working for them. Alright, now there is a hospital and there is the boss, he is the employer. The doctor working there is the employee. Okay, understand this. Employer, employee. Okay, two words. Now what was I telling you? Okay, Employees Provident Fund. Certain amount of money according to the wages that you have, you will have to pay it, and then when you finish or retire, when you go away, you will get that equal amount of money from your employer back. Alright, this is for safety purpose. Now in this, they don't have anything of that sort. Now a vegetable vendor, for example, if he is going around the street, can you set amount of money for him? Like he has to earn only 400 rupees today. No, he may be earning more than 400 for that day, depending on the amount of vegetables he has, and depending on the rate of each vegetable, isn't it? Do you get what I am saying? Okay, so they are not bound by any minimum wages act, nor are they working in any factory so that they can have Factories Act, or are they giving any provident fund to the employer. No, they don't have anything. They are working on the daily basis, and the daily amount that they get is enough to satisfy their needs. Alright. Now, don't possess any acts. Okay, that means no act is in favor of them and they don't need it. Alright. Okay, let's see the next point. Examples of organized sectors are hospitals, alright, hospitals, schools, that is all educational institutions, industries, okay, banks, then the military, these government offices, all government offices, okay, anything that comes under the government, all government offices, organized sector. Now let's come to the unorganized sector. Did you get these examples? Easy, isn't it? All are bound by rules and regulations. Hospitals have, schools have, industries have, banks have, military has, whereas also the government offices have certain rules that they have to follow, and they will, other organized sectors will also have to follow them. Let's see the examples here. Okay. Here the examples are vegetable vendors. Now these are only few examples that I am giving you. You can think of many other examples that are there. Alright. Vegetable vendors, vehicle repairers, vehicle repairs, what they do, okay, construction workers, okay, these are unorganized sectors. Then fishermen, the beady workers, okay, mine workers, then farmers, all right. Okay, I think these examples are enough for you. Vegetable vendors, the vehicle repairers, construction workers, fishermen, beady workers, mine workers and farmers. Are you able to distinguish between these two examples? Are you able to get the difference of the organized and the unorganized sector? All are through rules, and these are not through rules. They earn on daily basis, whereas they earn maybe on monthly basis. Okay. So did you understand these differences? There are few more, but did you understand this? I hope you have understood this much, as in very easy comparisons. Write it like this so that make points as I am saying, so that it will be easier for you. Okay. And if you make your own points, it is easy for you to understand than the notes that has been given, the textbook that is there. What you understand is more important than what is given or what is said. Alright. Now this is why I put it this way, because it is easy to compare. Bound by law, not bound by law. Okay, they have the fixed wages, they need to have certain facilities. They don't need all those things. They are bound or they are protected by certain acts, that is Minimum Wages Act, Factories Act, Employees Provident Fund. Whereas the unorganized laborers don't have all of this and they don't need them also. Examples are hospitals, schools, government offices. Okay, there are vegetable vendors, farmers, construction workers. Hope you understood these 4 points. Let's get into a few other points that are there. All right. Okay. Let's see the 5th point. What's there in the 5th point of the organized sector? Now, whoever wants to begin, okay, these sectors, who want to begin them, their service, have to seek permission from whom? From the government. Alright. They will have to seek permission from the government if they would like to begin a hospital, a school, okay. Anything that is under the organized sector will have to seek permission from the government. Here they need not. Need not seek permission. Do you get that? Then mandatory for them, compulsory to do what? To pay taxes. Compulsory to pay taxes. Let's see few other here and then get it to there. Alright. Now, they will have to be paid overtime. They will have to be paid overtime in case they have worked, okay, the employees have worked for more than the working hours that they have. Usually 9 to 5, 8 to 6, okay, it depends on them. Overtime, if they have worked for more than the working hours. Alright, now all this is bound by legal procedures, then the relationship between the employer, I just write it and then explain. Relationship between the employer and employee. Okay, relationship between the employer and employee also is guided by legal provisions. Okay, now let us understand this first and then let's get there, okay, because there is no exact contrast here now. These sectors who want to begin their institution or organization will have to seek permission from the government, and they have to show a certain number of records so that they know, the government knows that these kind of facilities are available there and will be available for whoever is going to avail them in their institute. Now, it's mandatory for them to pay the taxes, alright, they will have to pay taxes to the government for the maintenance and that they have to do it. Now, whoever is working, the employee, if he has worked more than the number of working hours that he has, that is the stipulated time that is given, let's assume 9 to 5 o'clock. If the employee has worked more than 5 o'clock, then he is bound to get more money. He has to be paid for working over time. Okay. Next, all records that they have to do, anything that is fit to be done is bound by legal procedures. Okay, everything is under the law and nobody is above the law, so you will have to follow what's given by the law. And the relationship between the employer, that's the boss, and the employee, okay, employer and the employee also has a certain legal provisions, also has certain rules and regulations to be followed. Employer has certain rules and regulations while recruiting, employee has certain rules and regulations towards the institute or the organization that they are working for. Now, these are given in order to have equality, so that there is no discrimination being done and so that there is no harassment being done wherever you are working. And if there is any kind of harassment, if there is any kind of misbehavior, then the employee can complaint against, or there are certain procedures for that. You cannot do it that easily, but there are provisions, there are procedures given in the law that the employee can fight for if the employer has done anything wrong to the employee. Okay, that is whoever is working under the employer. Everything will take time, it doesn't go so easy. You will have to go to the court, you will have to file a case, you will have to file a complaint, and then it has to take a lot of time, and that's how our courts work, and it goes on and on forever. Alright, now let's see this. They need not seek any kind of permission. Now, the minimum wages, they don't have any certain kind of minimum wages, but sometimes it depends on how much they have sold, or sometimes it depends on how much they have worked. For example, the construction workers, depends on how much the engineer would like to pay them, the contractor would like to pay them. Okay, minimum wages usually is below the fixed amount by the government. Okay, these, where will they go? Even if they are being paid 300, we had assumed it to be 400. Okay, let's assume the minimum wages is 400. Assumption. Okay, and they are being paid 200, 250, 300 below the level of minimum wages that the government has announced. Are you following what I am saying? Okay. Now, here I told you they are not bound by any act, so they cannot avail any kind of acts. In that kind of term also, these don't get any medical or overtime benefits. Now let's assume there is a building to be built. Okay, the building is halfway through, and you will have to finish the first 2 floors immediately. Okay, it's very necessary to finish between by this month end. That's the order that is being given, that you will have to finish the first 2 floors, everything set, and then maybe you can leave it like that, but by this month you will have to finish it. Now, in order to finish that, in order to obey to the orders that are being given, they will have to work overtime, isn't it? They are working overtime, they work day and night, so that the first 2 floors will be completed within a certain time frame. But whenever they are working, they don't get this overtime benefit. Okay, but they will be paid only how much? Some may be very generous, but most of the cases people are not generous in any way, and this is what happens. Okay, they don't get overtime benefits, so they don't get paid for working overtime in the construction area. You can take examples of others also. Now, these vegetable vendors, they may be working late in the night till 8, 9, okay, they may be selling. Why do you think they stay? They stay because their vegetables have not been sold. Their vegetables have not been sold and they want to sell it, and that is why they wait for their customers to come. But the poor vegetable vendor doesn't get any customers, and then it's a loss for him. Sometimes you can preserve it and keep it for the next day, but some vegetables though, it gets spoilt very easily, isn't it? You will have to discard it as soon as possible when it gets spoiled, and that's a loss for him. Are you following what I am trying to say? You can also take your examples, you can also make assumptions, you can also imagine. Okay, if you get these examples, please jot it down somewhere. When you go around somewhere now, that is not possible, but in the future time that's going to come, you will be moving around, isn't it? Just go and just see around you. How many organized sectors are there? How many unorganized sectors are there? Okay, these shops that are there, they have permission, they will have to produce their business records, and that is how they go. But those who are doing this daily kind of work, just look around you, what's happening. Okay, it may not be possible now at this time when you're sitting at home, but when you're going to come out, the day you're going to come out and move around, just see and remember this lesson, alright? Okay. They don't have any medical benefits also. If they get sick, they will not be doing any business. But even if they get sick, they may have to go to work, as in if the order is they have to finish that building by the first 2 floors of the building by the month end. Okay, if they have orders like that, even if they are sick, they will have to go and work. Why do they work? Because they need money for their daily needs, and that is why, because they are being paid daily, and that is very difficult for them to live. Alright, now they don't get any paid leaves. Okay, they don't get any paid leaves. Here some organizations do give you paid leaves, where you can go for you can apply for a paid leave, and then you can avail the benefit that is there, usually in the government sectors. Now they don't have any paid leaves. Okay, leave is a holiday that you are going. This is not, understand this word leaves is a holiday or a break that you are taking. They don't have any such kind of leaves that they can avail. For them every day is a working day. Even Sundays are a working day. But in organized sectors, you have a proper time frame, isn't it? Let's take the schools. Monday to Saturday you work, Sunday is a holiday, Saturday some schools have half a day, some schools have full day, some schools have off on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, this differs on every school that is there, and that is how they function. Everybody has a holiday on Sunday. Forget the Saturday, everybody has holiday on Sunday, isn't it? But they don't have any such kind of leaves, alright. Let's see the next one. Now, most of the people in India belong to this unorganized sector, because we may be seeing people around us working in big firms or big sectors, but if we really see the statistics that is there, if we really see how many people are working, because we know a small circle, we don't know the entire country, isn't it? Our group may be very small, and that is why we feel okay, everybody is well placed, everybody is good, everybody has a nice job, and everybody is working well. But what is to be said is, most of the people who work in these unorganized sectors that shows us the situation of what? Situation of India. Are you following it? Okay, as a developing country, so we are still developing and developing. Most of the people in this unorganized sector are show the situation of how India is working. Organized sectors also have its own challenges, unorganized sectors also have its own challenges. Both have, but these suffer a lot in the unorganized sector. These are a little well placed, they at least have some rules and regulations, some laws that they can avail, and at least some security that they can take in life. Not very easy though, but at least there is something that you know, okay, this is my backup, I can avail it anytime. But they don't have any kind of backup like that. They will have to fend for themselves, they will have to work and work and work till they die. Maybe they may have health issues also by working like that. They will not be taken care of. Alright. Now this is what I wanted to tell you in today's class. The differences between organized and unorganized sector. It is a very easy topic out of all that was being done in the entire social class. I feel this is the easiest topic for you to understand, because there is quite a little difference, yet you can understand it thoroughly. Now, I hope you've written these points as it is written. You can make your own points, okay? I'm not telling you should make points as I have done, no. Please students, make your own points. That is very easier for you to understand than what I tell you, okay? Because you have to understand it. You have to understand what you are writing. You cannot be simply copying. Don't simply copy what's written. If you've understood it, write in my statement, write in my words. Otherwise, write in your own words, but let the meaning be the same. Okay, let you make proper sentences. You can refer the text, you can refer the points that I have written here, but most important is you understand what I am trying to tell you, and that will make you score well also and remember well. Okay, you must understand any subject for that matter, but in this points make you understand better. Now, for the next class, that's the last part of the text that last part of this lesson, I want you to read that also and get yourself prepared for the next class that we are going to meet in. Thank you students for listening. I would like to wind up this class here itself. We shall meet soon in the next class.